Well, let me introduce myself first. My name is Betsy DeVos, and this is my grandson, Tag. Tag, can you smile? And I am the Secretary of Education. Do you know what that means?
Yes, you're the head of all the schools.
No, you guys are the head of the schools.
What?
Yes, indeed you are. But I have a really fun story to read today. It's called Iggy Peck, Architect. Have any of you read this one?
No.
Anyone? A couple of people. Okay. So I'll try to hold the book up to see the pictures, but
Maybe you could read it first and then sit. No, sit down.
I'll read each page and then I'll show the pictures. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get started. Where'd our butterfly go? Are you going away, butterfly? Okay. All right. She's flying away. Young Iggy Peck is an architect and has been since he was 2, when he built a great tower in only an hour with nothing but diapers and glue. Good gracious, Ignatius, his mother exclaimed. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. But her smile faded fast as a light wind blew past and she realized those diapers weren't clean. Ignatius, my son, what on earth have you done? That's disgusting and nasty. It stinks. Okay, there's Iggy's diaper tower. See it? Yeah. A smelly diaper tower. But that is quite a feat of architecture, isn't it? But Iggy was gone. He was out on the lawn using dirt clods to build a great sphinx. Look at that. Wow. That's quite masterful, isn't it? When Iggy was 3, his parents could see his unusual passion would stay. He built churches and chapels from peaches and apples and temples from modeling clay. Look at those. Amazing. Hey, can you guys sit down so the kids over on the lawn can see too? Does that work to sit? Can you guys down there see the pictures? Yeah? Good. Okay. Look at those fruit masterpieces.
Fruity masterpieces.
At dinner one night, to his father's delight, Iggy got a bright gleam in his eye. And out on the porch, he built the St. Louis Arch from pancakes and coconut pie. Wow.
Messy?
Yes.
Wow.
Look at that. Wow. Has anybody seen the real St. Louis Arch?
No.
Anybody? I see a couple people there. Dear Ig had it made until 2nd grade, when his teacher was Miss Lila Greer. On the very first day, she had this to say: "We do not talk of buildings in here. Gothic or Romanesque, I couldn't care less about buildings, ancient or new." She said in her lecture about architecture that it had no place in grade 2. Uh-oh. Iggy's in trouble. Mm-hmm. There we go. Miss Greer did not like his building ideas, did she? That might seem severe, but she was sincere. For when she was no more than 7, she'd had a great fright at a dizzying height in a building so tall it scraped heaven. On an architect's tour of the 95th floor, young Lila got lost from her group. That explains it, doesn't it? Look it. Okay. Here we go. She was found 2 days later stuck in a stuck elevator eating cheese with a French circus troupe. After that day, it's quite safe to say she thought all building lovers were nuts. As a teacher, she taught that above all, one ought to avoid them. No ifs, ands, or buts. See the elevator she got stuck in? And the French circus troupe? There we go. So now we know why she really doesn't like buildings, tall buildings especially. As you might guess, it would cause Iggy stress to hear such terrible talk. But he didn't hear. He sat in the rear while building a castle of chalk. You, Iggy Peck, your desk is a wreck. Tear down that castle right now. You will not build in here. Is that perfectly clear? Do you need to see Principal How? Look at the big chalk castle that Iggy built. But he's getting in trouble, isn't he? He's getting in trouble.
Sit down.
Can you guys sit down? No, ma'am, Iggy said. He lowered his head and his heart sank down to the floor. With no chance to build, his interest was killed. Now, second grade was a bore. Poor Iggy. He is not into school now, is he? What's going to happen next?
I don't know.
After 12 long days that passed in a haze of reading, writing, and arithmetic, Miss Greer took the class to Blue River Pass for a hike and an old-fashioned picnic. Here they go. They're on their hike. What do you think's going to happen?
He's going to build some. He's going to get stuck.
They crossed an old trestle to a small island nestled in the heart of a burbling stream. But they no sooner passed than the footbridge collapsed, and Miss Lila Greer started to scream. We're trapped here, oh my! Alas, kids, goodbye! Her eyeballs rolled back in her head. She dropped to the ground with a vague groaning sound. Luckily fainted, not dead. Look at Miss Greer on that island. Uh-oh, she is scared, isn't she?
How did they build a bridge?
See how the bridge collapsed and it's gone and they're stuck? See that?
Maybe he's going to build another bridge.
Maybe he will. The class was amazed. They stood there quite dazed, uncertain of what they should do. But one bright young man was off hatching a plan, which started with Miss Lila's shoe. Soon each lad and lass there at Blue River Pass was working together as one. Look at them all. Look at them all working together.
Where's Lila's shoe?
Do you see it? Do you see her shoe?
Oh, yes. I don't see her. Oh, yeah.
Got it?
Where?
See her
They're
shoe?
taking off all the shoes. Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Took her shoe off.
And when she came to, Miss Lila Greer knew that something quite brave had been done. She looked in the air and saw hanging there a structure with cables and braces. And on the far side, beaming with pride, were 17 smiling young faces. Boots, tree roots and strings, fruit roll-ups and things, some of which one should not mention, were stretched ridge to ridge in a glorious bridge dangling from shoestring suspension. Whoops! A little flower falling here. Here, you want to sit right there? There you go. Look at this bridge that they made. Is that amazing? Wow.
Wow, I can't believe my eyes.
Can you believe they made that from all kinds of stuff? Where is her shoe? Who can find her shoe?
Yep.
Right there.
Yeah. And there's only one on her. There's only one on her.
That's right.
No, there's another one. Yeah,
There's-
that's a little shoe.
I think that's one of the kids' shoes.
Yeah, it's little. All the kids took their shoes off and put it
Yeah.
on here.
It all became clear to Miss Lila Greer as she crossed that bridge over the stream. Can you guys sit down so the kids in the back can see a minute? It all came clear to Miss Lila Greer as she crossed that bridge over the stream There are worse things to do when you're in grade 2 than to spend your time building a dream. Look at that. She realized that he had a real talent, didn't she? And even in grade 2, you need to follow that. Now, every week at Blue River Creek Elementary in second grade, all the school kids can hear, along with Miss Greer, how the world's greatest buildings were made. The weekly guest speaker in t-shirt and sneakers talks of buildings from Rome to Quebec. Of course, he's the guy who builds towers from pie, that brilliant young man, Iggy Peck.
Can we do it again?
There we go. What
Can we do it again?
Again, you like that story? I like Iggy Peck, don't you?
Yeah.
He's quite amazing. Do you see all the buildings he's teaching the rest of his classmates about?
Now he's a teacher.
Now he's a second grade teacher, a second grader teaching in second grade. Amazing. Thank you for listening so well, you guys.